Hi everyone, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Advantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekends Coaching. I enjoy doing these lives each and every Tuesday, and I do them for a couple of reasons. One of them is for you to be able to shift your perspective or your vantage, the way you look at your business, and turn that into your edge. Because the way we look at things, the way we see things, really forms what actions we take or what actions we don't take. So shifting it can really help turn your business into something bigger, something that you want to achieve, and it really can be an advantage. The second reason is for you to be able to take one action item away each week and implement it. I do this in 15 minutes each and every week. So I primarily work with small business owners who are in the automotive space, the industry, or they are in the skilled trades. These are people that I respect and admire. They have the grit and drive, but many of them reach a level in their business where they want to start having a life as well. They want to stop feeling like they have to be on 24/7 and they have to be doing it all. And that's where I come in and I help guide them. So today's topic is managing versus leading. Now, I had quite a few conversations this week with business owners and clients on this, and I found it to be really enlightening for both of us, them and myself. So when I thought of a topic, I thought this was really timely. What they were telling me was that they were looking for leaders, and they said that they had managers, but they wanted their managers to develop leadership skills. And when we talked about it, what they were first telling me was, in many of the cases, was they wanted to be able to clone themselves because they thought of themselves as leaders. But then I started really breaking it down for them, and they changed their view or perspective, if you will, and realized that maybe they needed a little bit help with leadership skills themselves. So leading and managing are two related but different activities. And the difference in these activities really become more apparent when you're running a business. So to kind of unpack this for you and break it down, the idea here is that management involves the day-to-day activities of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling to achieve a specific outcome or outcomes. Managers are responsible for efficiency. We want to get things done in a timely manner. We want tasks to be completed on time, and things happen during the day to day. So they have to keep on top of that. And we want teams to be able to meet goals. Their goals, as individuals, they're part of the job, and the team as a whole has to meet a goal. So management often involves being detailed oriented, focused on the execution, in the doing, the getting it done, following established procedures and processes. So, a great example would be a project manager. They're in charge of that project and they are going to manage the activities to make sure the project is completed in a timely way and that everyone is focusing on doing things right. Leadership is the ability to inspire and influence others towards a common vision or goal. So, what leaders typically do is they set the direction and they inspire team members and help those team members develop the skills and capabilities needed to achieve their goals or outcomes. So, here's what leadership is: leaders are being proactive, they're forward thinking, and they're innovative. So, when you think about that, a lot of times maybe someone goes to do something and they may not have a tool, something that they need, a leader would turn around and say, well, how could we improvise? What else can we do, right now to get this done? They're kind of thinking out of the box and they're thinking of something new. Leaders are willing to take risks and make tough decisions. Communication skills are key for leadership. Now, an example of this would be a team leader. They are in charge of a team and they are going to really help inspire that team. Well, a project manager and a team leader can work really well together. And in larger companies, they may have both. But in smaller companies, a lot of times you will have a manager, a project manager, a service advisor, a shop manager. And those are the people that we are looking to in that management role. So what I want to emphasize, put a lot of emphasis here on, is that managing and leading are both important, both of them, for professional and personal success. We need both. But sometimes it can get a little bit cloudy because both of them are important, but they require different skill sets and mindsets, ways of thinking. And it's funny because as you're listening to me talk about this, a lot of times people say, gee, what am I naturally more of? Do I fall into the leadership category and I need to work on more management skills? Or do I fall more into the management way of thinking of that category? And then I need more leadership type skills. So leadership focuses on inspiring and influencing others towards that common vision, while management focuses on the planning, the organization, and controlling resources to achieve specific goals. Now, successful leaders and managers are able to balance these two roles effectively to achieve that outcome that they need to or want to. So that's the idea here, is really balancing those two roles so that you can achieve your goals, you can achieve what you want to do. So I'm going to put this really simply. Managers use their head to manage activities, and leaders use their heart to lead people. And that's really, simplifying it, but that's really what it is. And I want to share with you some manager tips and some leader tips. Managers will often say things like, follow the plan. Here's what we need to do. Okay, I'll take care of it. So that's when you hear that kind of talk, that person is really talking and speaking as a manager. So my tips would be set clear goals and priorities. You want to prioritize things, what needs to be accomplished first, second. Break them down into specific, measurable, and achievable goals to stay focused. So you're breaking things down into steps. Another thing would be learn to delegate, because a critical skill for effective management is being able to take things off your plate and delegating them to others. You want to identify the tasks that you want to delegate and then be able to empower your team, because that really raises your team when you delegate and hand things off to them. Develop problem-solving skills. This is huge. This way you can identify a problem but not stay focused on it. You want to focus and evaluate solutions. And this allows you and affords you to be able to make better decisions, and you can make them more quickly too. Now, some leadership tips would be, these are some of the things that leaders say. They would say things like, well, what do you think needs to be done here? Or let's try something new. Or how can we solve this problem together? So they're looking for input. They're looking to empower the team member. They're looking to build those skills in them. So tips for a leader would be lead by example. Actions will speak louder than words. Leading by example means modeling the behavior that you expect. If you want your team to be in and meet at a certain time, well, you better be there, right? Because you're leading by example. To tell everyone else what to do and you not following is not a good thing. So don't be late for that meeting. If you're going to have a meeting, you want everyone to be there. You be there too. Develop your communication skills is another one. Effective communication is including the listening skills. And the reason why you want to develop the listening skills is because we want to be able to respond appropriately. And sometimes what happens is when someone just starts to speak, we think we know what they're going to say. So we start formulating the response in our head. And by doing that, we're not actually listening to what the person is saying. And if we did, it would be a different response. It would be an appropriate response. And then the last one here is build relationships. To build a culture of trust, respect, and collaboration, you want to get to know your team. You want to get to know the people. You want to learn what motivates them as individuals. It may not be the same for everyone. And that's really valuable to build that trust and respect and get their input so they're part of it. So most roles I find in these two industries, and in many industries, but in the automotive and the skilled trade industries, really do start out as more of a manager or management role. And some of these would be a salesperson, a service advisor, customer service, or like a foreman. And the thing is you can take those roles to the next level and get next level results by developing leaders on your team, by developing leaders in your business. Get the guidance or the training to help build those skills needed, and then measure and track the growth, your own growth as an owner, as a leader, and your team's growth as well. So I'm curious, whether you're live here or on the replay, I'm very curious to what you find as a really good leadership or management tip that you find works really well for you, because I find that sharing those is huge. And it looks like we have John here today, and yes, communication is a number one tool. Absolutely. That's a great tool to have in your toolbox. And when we develop ourselves, we definitely, and we develop our team, we get next level results. So when we think and we want to achieve next level results, it's always good to think that we have to next level ourselves personally. Glad to have you here, John. It's always a pleasure. So that's it for this week's Business Leadership in 15 minutes. And I look forward to next week. Have an enjoyable week.